being who you really are, being exactly who you really are feels so good. And that's what we want you to get hooked on. We want you to love the feeling of being whole, being one complete being instead of being a split being split between who you really are and who you're allowing yourself to be in this now moment because of the vibration that you're deciding to hold and focus on. You see, we want you to sort of leave the manifestations out of the equation just for a little while. We want the vibrational version, the version that you can have right now. We want the emotion to be what you're looking for, because when the emotion is what you're looking for, then the emotion is something you can always find. And since you can always find the emotion, then you're not yearning, you're finding the peace. Because when you're in this law of attraction business, when you're doing the processes to make something manifest, because you're interested in having, the happy life, the manifestations that will lead to the happy life, then you're stuck in a way, because any time that you introduce wanting the physical object, usually you just can't help but notice where you are in relationship to that desire. You highlight where you are, you notice where you are, because you have this reality and you have these five senses. So you just can't help but notice that the money isn't in the bank right now. So anytime that you talk about wanting the money and wanting to get to the money and wanting to manifest the money, you can't help but notice where you are. So leave the manifestation out of the equation. And how can you do that? Because you're vibrational, because you care about how you feel, because you're selfish, because you can be unconditional. You can create, you can dream the dream because of how it feels. The greatest prize of all is actually how you feel. We want the feeling of clarity to be exactly what you're looking for. We want the dream that you dream to feel so good to you, so that you continue to dream, even though what you want is not on your mind, even though you don't have the ulterior motive, even though you're not so interested in exactly what it will produce. You're more interested in the feeling that it is now producing. For this is the now manifestation. This manifestation that you're beholding right now with your five senses, this is the only manifestation that really matters. And the reason why it's the manifestation that really matters is because this is where you're operating. This is where you're offering your vibrational signal that law of attraction is responding to. So you can't be in this, it's not that you can't, but it's just so slow in going. It's so almost amateurish. It's not the leading edge creators that you came here to be. You're not here to create objects. You're here to create a state of being. You're here to enjoy the becoming. You're here to enjoy the journey. You are here to enjoy the manifestation of emotion. Because when the manifestation of emotion is what you're looking for, then you're a complete being. Then you have the freedom that you're really looking for. Then you have that flexibility. We want you to be flexible in your alignment. We want you to be flexible in how you operate in this time and space, because we're not saying be in the vortex 100% of the time, because that would mean you return back to the non-physical. You actually came from the non-physical. You came from this non-physical, non-resistant consciousness to actually experience resistance, so that you could come to your own conclusions. And so you could create your own vortex of creation, because that was so fascinating to you. So here you are, and the manifestation just can't matter, because if the manifestation matters, then do you know what that means? Then the fact that it's not here right now is going to play a really big part in your vibration. It's going to bother you. You're going to continue to take score. You see, your inner being never ever takes score. It never takes score of how much you've manifested, and you shouldn't either. The only thing that you should be taking score of is how you are feeling. For the feeling, the emotion, the amount of joy that you're experiencing is the real wealth, is the real vibrational currency. That's what money can't buy. And it's funny, because when you're enjoying the happy life, when the happy life is what you're experiencing right now, because you're enjoying the emotion, because you like to dream, not because you're trying to create anything, but because your dream just feels so good to you, because the image in your mind feels so good to you, because you're no longer visualizing, you're no longer scripting, you're no longer doing any of the processes to create a reality. You're just doing the processes to tune your frequency, to enjoy what you've already put into your vortex. You're enjoying your daydream. You're enjoying what's already percolating, and it's calling you. Then you're the happy being. Then you're living happily ever after, because you don't need a physical reality to change. And when you're living the happy life, then the manifestations, they have to follow, because it's a law. But when you need the manifestations to have the happy life, then you're basically screwed, because there's too much resistance in the equation. Then you can't get over the fact that you are where you are. You see, law of attraction is using you. Law of attraction is like gravity. It's just there. You don't need to learn how to use it in the same way that you never took a lesson on how to use gravity. You just understood it. So while we offer you the law of attraction and many other teachers, you're understanding that you really are offering a signal. And so as you're offering a signal, you're actually walking into this vibrational field in every moment. And in this vibrational field, you're literally influencing your life experience. You're offering a signal. You're playing a part in the own creation of your reality by virtue of your vibration. And the best way to understand that, the best way to know what you're vibrating, to even know what am I vibrating? What does it mean for me to offer a signal? How do you feel? What is your mood? And that's what we say. Your mood is the most important thing, because if you can control your mood, if you can stand in the absence of what you want and feel good, because you're focusing on what does feel good, or you're focusing on the dream, you're focusing on the vibrational version instead of the physical, see it, smell it, taste it, touch it, hear it reality right now that you don't have access to, because the emotion is so easy to find, and the emotional version, the vibrational version, the current vibrational currency version is so easy to find, then you're off and you're running. But we don't want that to be the reason why you do it. We don't want the manifestation to be the reason why you do it, because then what happens? It gets old, because you teach yourself a false premise, which is, I'm going to do this process to make something happen. But then when it doesn't happen, because the process was never to make something happen, the process was for you to stand in any given moment and feel good about your desire, because you're scripting to feel good. You're daydreaming to feel good. You're not daydreaming to create your reality. You see, any process that you're doing is never to create the reality, because you have already created the reality. You are a vibrational being, and this is a vibrational world, and you have to understand your emotions in order to understand what it means to be vibrational. Your mood, how you feel, your point of attraction, your feelings, your satisfaction or dissatisfaction, your anger or your pessimism or your interest or your passion, those are all vibrational indicators of how much of well-being in this now moment you're allowing. And to the degree that you're allowing the well-being, you're feeling good, and to the degree that you're disallowing it because you're off on some wild goose chase, you're off being objective, you're off holding and thinking about things that don't feel good in the name of being realistic, objective, and trying to get the applause from other people, then you enter into this vibrational field, and you're creating things that you don't want. And the thing is, no one creates things knowingly because they want things to go wrong. It's just that your words don't count for much. It's all your vibration. And that's why your emotions matter the most, because your emotions are telling you what side of the stick are you on, because every subject is like a stick with two sides on it, the presence of what you want and the absence of what you want. So you could be talking about money, but when in reality you're using your words, you're sounding positive with your words, but the vibrational accurate pitch of your word is, I don't have the money. And it can sound like, I really, really want the money, I really want the money, and it's gonna be so nice to finally have money. It's even saying that, there's a little bit of resistance in it, because you can't help but notice the fact that you don't have it right now. So a better statement is, I want money because it's gonna feel good, because it's gonna feel right. And the thing is, you're not doing that process in order to affect your reality. You're doing that practice to affect the only reality, which is in this now moment, your point of attraction. You're affecting how you feel. You're entering this vibrational field, and how you enter it is all about what your emotions are telling you. And once you understand that, then you really understand your vibrational nature. And so your emotions only work for you if you're being truthful, if you're owning where you are. You see, we're not saying be positive all the time, put a happy face sticker. We're telling you, if your gas gauge is yelling empty, then you got to acknowledge that, because you are where you are. And if you're not willing to acknowledge where you are, then you can't shift beyond. Then you're bringing little pieces of where you are everywhere you go. And so some of our friends say, well, if reality could just change a little, if I could just make a lot more money right now, if this could fall into place, then I would feel really good. And we don't doubt that. We know that that's exactly what would happen. But we also know that this is a world of attraction. So you have to attract it. Everything that you want is already a vibrational reality. It has become a reality. And so it's there for you, waiting in your vortex. It's there for you, which means you're the perceiver of it, which means you got to get into the vortex, which means you got to be a match to the vortex. You got to figure out a way to get into the vortex. And so that's why we say emotion is the easiest way, because when you're talking about emotion, there's rarely any resistance, because when you're talking about emotion, you're talking about how you feel. And when you talk about how you feel, you're not talking about all of the pieces of almost like the puzzle that to fire up resistance within you, because the more specific you get when you have resistance in the mix, then the resistance speeds up and it doesn't feel good. You did come here for speed, and that speed is what equals your satisfaction factor, your point of attraction. Your satisfaction factor is a very important way to or one of the best ways to understand your point of attraction, your satisfaction factor. You want to be satisfied, and satisfaction comes from only one place, which is wanting something and no longer offering any resistance in the direction of it. It means going in the direction of it because it feels good. And that's the thing. We want you to go in the direction of your desires, not because going in the direction, meaning talking about it, talking yourself into feeling it, feeling good about it, believing in it, knowing it, talking about why you want it, not because it will make what you want come, but because it feels good. We want you to really pinpoint that it's all about feeling good in this now moment, because this isn't only manifestation you have. This is your now moment. And when the future comes, it's going to be another now moment. So start from right here where you are right now, because you can right here, right now, begin a new adventure. You can go and start a journey to anything that you want. You can make the journey from here to anywhere that you want to go. And it doesn't matter if where you are continues to change. You don't run out of chances because your inner being is never judging you. Your inner being is just sending you impulses, is always giving you impulses, is always telling you, come here, come here. You have unlimited chances. We just want you to know that you're the creator of your reality, and you can do it, but you have to love the emotion so much. And we know the emotion is such a weird sort of abstract way to say the feeling, just a feeling of clarity, just a feeling of interest, just a feeling of fun, joy, excitement, of bliss, of joy. That feeling is what you're really looking for. And if you can conjure the feeling without the manifestation, and you can feel secure in the emotion, meaning the emotion is enough. The manifestation is not what you're looking for anymore, because the emotion is enough. Then the details have to start filling in. That's the law. And so it's interesting because it's really about that allowing, because you have already created this reality. And it's so interesting to hear all of your human friends sort of stand where they are and act like someone took it away from them, act like someone who's bigger than them, a force that's greater than them, is holding out on the goods because they're not worthy enough. And it's never like that. It's just you're offering a vibration that's not matching, and that's all that matters. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just looking in the wrong direction. You're looking behind, you're looking over your shoulder instead of looking towards the direction. And you have a reality. You have a reality that you feel that you need to weigh the pros and cons about. You need to get to the bottom of it. And there's no bottom. There's no bottom to the problem. There's only a solution that you have given birth to and that you can actually match. And the only way that you can find the solution is through your emotions. The way that you create your empires is by understanding that it's a vibration first, and then it's a thought, and then it's an emotion, and then it's ideas, then it's a rendezvous, then it's impulses in your mind. But first, right now, it's an emotion, and that has to be enough. The emotion has to be enough. So leave the physical manifestation alone just for a little bit, meaning dream for the sake of dreaming. Dream because of how good it feels, and let that be your measurement. That's what the satisfaction factor is. How satisfied do I feel right now? What can I think that will make me feel more satisfied? And it's just about feeling more satisfied. You came for the speed, and that's the speed that you're looking for, because we're telling you you're creators of your reality. But what you are really is the creator of a reality. You are the emitter of a vibrational frequency, a launcher of a rocket that then becomes a vibrational reality. So in truth, you have already created your reality, and now you're beginning to allow that reality to form around you from a vibration into a physical object. And so the best way, isn't that interesting? So now all you gotta do is be in the receiving mode. That's what allowing is about. You have to allow it. You have to feel good, because if it's a vibrational world, then the better you feel, the more you're allowing, and the less better you feel, or the worse you feel, or the more dissatisfied you feel, there's varying degrees of that too, all the way from dissatisfaction all the way down to despair and depression. Then that's exactly how much you're disallowing. You're not allowing what you want. And so you can allow what you want, and you're not going to do it all at once. You have unlimited chances, and you're doing a really good job, because everything that you want is really ready for you. It is ready for you. It's vibrationally there, and you're just getting better at seeing it. You're just getting better at getting acquainted with the frequency of it, the emotion of it. And so as you get better acquainted with the emotion of it, then you're going to start experiencing manifestations in real time. You're going to enjoy the becoming, because now you understand what I want is really for a feeling, and I'm enjoying the feeling right now. What I want is for a feeling, and the feeling I can find it really easily. And if I can just enjoy the feeling, and if the feeling can just be enough for now, then the physical manifestation has to come. And if the physical manifestation isn't coming, that's because the emotion really isn't enough. You see, you offer all of your effort from a place of impatience, and impatience is really a sign of, you know what it's a sign of? It's a sign of resistance. You have misaligned energy, and instead of dealing with the misaligned energy, you just want to see the damn physical manifestation, because if the physical manifestation could just come, then you wouldn't feel the impatience anymore. If reality could change, I would feel better. But that conditional love, it'll just never work. You can't get there from there. You can't get to a manifestation given that vibrational pattern, that vibrational, standing, that vibrational offering, that vibrational point of attraction. You have to match it. And so you got to soothe that impatience. You have to get rid of the effort factor. And the way that you get rid of it is by activating the satisfaction factor. Instead of the effort factor, activate the satisfaction factor. It's about how good I feel, not about how hard I work. It's about how good I feel. And how good you feel is what makes the millions comes. How good you feel is, because if it's about allowing, then the better you feel, the more you are allowing, the more you're able to see, the more you're able to perceive in the snap moment, the more that you're able to see out of the eyes of your source, the more that in this moment, you're actually being the genius creator, because you're seeing beyond what you could just see with your action, right? You can see with your non-physical eyes. And as you see with your non-physical eyes, life is different. We want you to get hooked on that feeling of a dream that just feels so good, on a dream that's pure, because you need pure thought. You need thought that is not contradicted. And the way to do that is to find an approach that doesn't offer contradiction, that's general enough, but is satisfying enough. Because if it's so general that it's not satisfying, then that's not a process that is fun for you, because it has to speed up in order for it to feel good. And then motion is that process. Talk about the motion, talk about why you want it, how would it feel like, and use your emotional guidance system and own it. As you talk about your desire, you can literally work out the bugs by gauging how you feel, by thinking and feeling, how does this thought feel? How does that thought feel? And you can literally work out the bugs, work out the kinks, and enter this sort of realm of non-resistance. Daydream more, daydream a lot more. And even if you don't get what you want today or tomorrow, continue daydreaming, because even if what you don't want doesn't come, you can still dream a dream that feels better. And that really is the power. Feeling better truly is the power. Feeling better is a manifestation. And if you can get that, if you can really understand that feeling better is a manifestation, then everything that you want is going to avalanche, because you know why? It's the law.